So in this video, we're just looking at a summary of all the properties of exponents that we've, some of which we've looked at in the past, and some which are derivations from the ones we've seen. Nothing too, nothing too different from what you've already learned with the rules of exponents. But there's 9 of them, and please, the order of, in the order in which I've written them is just based on how one textbook has written them. It doesn't mean that you'll be asked, what is the 8th property of exponents, or what's the 9th property of exponents? That's not a typical question people ask. Instead, what they would ask is, here's a problem, use the properties of exponents to solve this problem. And so there's 9 properties. You can find them on page 185 of our algebra textbook by Tyler Wallace. And you can make sure that you understand how each of these work. And so what I want to do is just briefly explain them and just show quick examples of each one of them. So first, if 2 things have the same base and they're multiplying, you can add the powers. That's what happens in the first case. And so if you have y to the 2nd power times y to the 5th power, it would just be y to the 2 plus 5, which is y to the 7th. So that's the first property. The second property, if there are 2 things, if there's a division going on, then you can subtract the power. So if you have y squared divided by y, is the same thing as 2 minus 1, which is y to the 1st power, which is just y alone. So that's the second property. The third property is if there's something raised to a power with an exponent outside, then you can multiply the exponent of what's inside with what's outside. So let's say you have 5 squared and you have a 3 outside. That will become 5, 2 times 3, which is 5 to the 6th. The fourth property is if you have 2 things multiplying with a power outside, that power goes on top of each of the things. So if you have x times y squared, then that's x squared, y squared. Please do not use this principle when you're dealing with x plus y squared, because in that case you would need to multiply those binomials. So the 5th one is if you have something divided by something and there's a power, then again you would do the same. You would put that power to multiply each of the powers inside. So if we have 5 cubed over 5 squared raised to the 4th power, that will become 5 to the 12th divided by 5 to the 8th. And then you would use the property that we've learned back here. And so 12 minus 8 is 5 to the 4th. So notice that the rules kind of play around. It's like a game. So you can think of it that way. So let me quickly look at the 6th one. If something is raised to the 0 power, so AB to the 0 power, notice that it can be something in parentheses. That's 1. The 7th property here, if anything is raised to the negative power, it's the same thing as 1 over that thing to the positive power. Number 8, if you have something raised to the negative exponent, well, 1 over 5 to the negative 2, that becomes 5 squared, which is 25. You can bring that up to the top and it becomes positive. And the last one, if we have P over Q, and we're raising that to negative M, okay, then that just becomes Q over P to the positive M. Notice I switched that around, and we can talk about why that happens in a different video. And that just becomes Q to the M over P to the M. So thank you for being willing to learn, and I'm excited to see where you would go as you apply all these principles. It's an investment, so keep working hard and have a wonderful day.